porque sí es PERUMIN, pero también hoy es el Día Nacional de Arabia Saudita. Entonces, si ustedes ven a nuestros amigos de Arabia Saudita, le pueden saludar. Ya así se puede ver que en su día feriado ellos se vienen a Perú a presentarle lo potencial del país. Ahí es dedicación que es bien, bien fuerte. No, también es un gran placer para mí estar aquí. Yo soy Remy Piet, el socio fundador de Ambeli. Usted quizás conoce ya Ambeli aquí en Perú porque tenemos 20 personas trabajando sobre eso de licencias, de permisos, de facilitación para empresas mineras aquí en Perú. Pero lo que quizás usted no sabe es que la empresa fue creada en el Medio Oriente al principio. Entonces para mí me da mucho gusto poder presentarles a mis amigos de Arabia Saudita y crear este puente entre Perú y Arabia Saudita. No vamos a tener servicios de traducción, pero todo lo que va a ser en inglés estará marcado también ahí. Y si tienen una pregunta sobre una cosa que no entiende, se puede hacer la pregunta después de manera muy informal. Entonces conserva, si no entiende algo, una cosa, conservarlo en nota y lo haremos en el Q&A al final, ¿ok? Le agradezco mucho y como van a ver, Arabia Saudita es probablemente el territorio más interesante a nivel de minerales que todavía tiene tanta potencial y tanto apoyo de nivel de gobierno que lo vamos a presentar aquí. Y vamos a empezar primero con una discusión con Cristian Aramayo, que usted conozca quizás, que es uno de los peruanos más exitosos de Arabia Saudita, si lo puedo presentar así, porque ya está presente en el territorio y ya ha logrado con socios del país a tener acceso a licencias y a empezar a trabajar en el reino de Arabia Saudita. Entonces, muchas gracias por estar ahí y le presento a Cristian Aramayo. Cristian, ¿quieres presentarte un poco? Y yo me siento a tu lado, si quieres. Ahí.
¿Me escuchan? Ahora sí. ¿Qué tal? Gracias, Remy. Yo no sé si el más exitoso, pero que estoy ahí hace tiempo, sí. Y creo que nos está yendo bien y coincido con Remy que el potencial que tiene Arabia Saudita es increíble para minería directa y así como los servicios auxiliares, ¿no? Servicios, ingeniería, proveedores y downstream también.
So Christian, we're just going to switch to English if you don't mind, so that everybody can understand here.
Okay.
But if there's any question afterwards, we'll take it in Spanish also. Don't worry about it. I wanted to ask you first. Obviously, as I was mentioning, you have deep roots into Peru with Cuya Silver, quite promising projects that is now under production in the country. But what do you think Peru can offer in terms of its experience, its knowledge, for a country like Saudi Arabia that is looking forward to building new partnership around the globe to be able to tap into those resources in a country so central for the global economy?
Okay, thank you for the question. I think what Peru can offer to Saudi Arabia, can be divided in two things, basically. Technical and also the whole ecosystem. Why I say technical? Because although we have been blessed in Peru for the Andes, where we have these formations and we have this deposit that has made Peru famous worldwide for copper and silver mainly, Saudi Arabia has the Arabic and Nubian Shield also, where at the other side of the Red Sea and also in the same area, there has been interesting interceptions in the last years and in the past history as well. So the potential, the geological potential that Saudi Arabia has can be easily interpreted and recognized by Peruvian geologists because really our geology is not that different. Of course, if our geology is here, you will say that what I'm saying is blasphemy. But if you fast track the Andes like several millions of years, you might end up in a desert, right? So you have this very promising place. Peru success, I think, is based in three main things. First of all, we have deep down in our roots mining. Like mining has been done in this region from pre-Inca's time until now. So everybody knows and coexists with mining. That has allowed us to develop a set of knowledge and skills, geologists, mining engineers, metallurgists, mechanics, and everything that is required. Second, Peru has been very successful, I think, in developing mining projects that allowed a whole ecosystem. What I mean is that here in Arequipa, Cerro Verde, for instance, does not need to go and shop elsewhere. They can shop for supplier, vendor, spare parts, and technology nearby. If you have a project in other places in Peru, the same thing happened. Junín has that, Cusco. We have a whole ecosystem that is built for supporting mining development. And third, concession system, the mining licenses in Peru is very clear. Okay, you will say that the bureaucracy behind it in GEMET or not is different, but if you log in into GeoCatmin and you try to stake and see the ownership of this, that's very, very clear. We have projects in Canada, we have projects in some other place in the world, and I can tell you, GeoCatmin is a world-class system. Now, this is a two-way street. We can also learn from Saudi Arabia how they have managed to reduce bureaucracy. It's a very expedite process, and I think it's a study case. We should go there and learn as well how to reduce times, bureaucracy, and expedite and fast-track projects.
Can I make you, if I turn to your personal experience and journey from Peru to Saudi Arabia? I had the chance to meet you like a decade ago here in Lima, well, actually in Lima and then Arequipa. And then we spent time together in the Arabian desert with the ministry. What has led you to consider working in Saudi Arabia? What was your own experience? And can you actually, maybe for those that might be interesting to follow your path, explain what has been the key incentives and key interests for you and also roadblocks that you were able to overcome?
Okay, yes. So long time ago, actually, I was working in Mauritania. Okay, I worked there with a gold project and then with an iron ore project as well from the government in SNIM. And I had the opportunity to meet a lot of geologists that with the French government were drilling in Saudi Arabia back in the 60s, back in the 50s, and they were telling me all great things about that area. Then I had the opportunity to visit as well projects in Eritrea area and understanding how it works. So back in 2018-19, I started to explore possibilities in areas that might not be your obvious choice for mining, but where I believe there was potential. So the first guy actually I made contact was Ahmed Al-Akil, and he started explaining me all the changes that were coming in Saudi Arabia, how permits were coming, licensing, and all was happening. And I thought that the opportunity was there to get into an untapped region that is supporting of mining, that has the geological potential, and it's well located.
If you compare Peru with Saudi Arabia, so obviously two countries that have very strong geological capacities and endowment, but Peru is much more advanced in terms of technological know-how, in terms of experience into the mining sector. At the same time, has its own issues with compliance, social acceptance of project. What do you think can be lessons learned for Saudi Arabia, and how is Saudi Arabia potentially different from Peru on those aspects?
Okay, so one of the main things that help Peru, and from my experience in different parts of the world, is that Peru does not try to do mining in a Canadian, Australian, US way. Okay, in Peru, the guys, all of you guys who are here to do mining, you know that in Peru you mine in a Peruvian way. And that's the key for the success here. That has also been the reason why several projects have not been successful elsewhere. And we all know cases in Colombia, Brazil, maybe in other places of Africa, where you try to impose a different way or a different culture into people's mindset. So I would say that one of the big success here was to mine in the Peruvian way. And how is that way, let's say? That way is using our old and historical knowledge, okay, and portray it into new mining developments. As far as I know, Peru is the only place that with a winch has managed to go over 400 tons per day, right, using carts and everything. That has not happened nor in Africa, nor in Chile, or elsewhere. We have also different types of mining. If you try to explain Circado outside of Peru, it will be tough. So let's say that it has been a lesson learned over time. And what had come with that is the the knowledge to work in remote areas where high altitudes are challenging, lack of infrastructure might be challenging, communities might be challenging, and that's the way, and I think that's how Saudi Arabia can learn from those challenges that Peru had and fast track, make a leapfrog, let's say, into the future. If you try to recreate all that knowledge, it might take 100 years, and I don't think you guys want to wait 100 years for the first mine there. So you need to partner, you need to expedite knowledge. And how do you do that? It's easy if somebody goes there and give you a lecture. Oh, we did this in this way, that, but that's not how you learn, really. You learn by doing. So for me, the easier way to transfer technology, transfer knowledge are joint ventures, where you have Peruvian companies going over there with world-class engineering, mining contractors, service providers, and everything that knows how to do things that don't, and very important is, that don't have crazy rates. What happened? If you go there and start bringing all these companies from some other places in the world, you will end up with crazy rates, okay? Rates that are only, that might only work in certain places of the world. And with the current trend to include inflation within the all-in sustaining cost, that's something that nobody's doing yet so far. If you take a look at any FS, they kind of freeze the all-in sustaining, and then they said, okay, we discount it within the return rate. But the trend is changing. Once you start putting the inflation into the all-in sustaining cost, all these costs from places, from other countries will add up, okay? And that might reduce the competitiveness of Saudi Arabia. However, if you bring these companies that know how to do things, that still have down-to-earth rates, very high efficiency levels, that will be a way to maybe reduce those 100 years into 3, 4, or even less, because you learn by doing.
You mentioned joint venture with local actors. Kuya Silver, your company, has been one of the very first companies to be able to build a partnership with Sumu Holding, with a local large consortium, definitely the first Latin American company to do so, and to win a license into the auction system. Can you explain how you were able to build those ties with the local family holding, and how was the auction system and approach successful for you?
Okay, so in order to build ties, first of all, we need to understand that culture is important. I have seen several North American, European companies trying to build joint ventures, partnership with, I will not say just Saudi, GCC companies as a whole, and this happened elsewhere, and they're not getting there because you try to impose somebody else's approach. And believe it or not, Saudis and Peruvians are very much alike in that we build relationship based on trust, on the person first, and then I listen to the business, rather than the other way around, that you might do it in North America or maybe in some places of Europe, right? So understanding that way of thinking was very important. Then stick to your word. That's very important. You say something, you do that, and you stick to it. So that's how we end up with this group, Sumo, okay, that has no mining experience whatsoever. We took them to visit our sites. We showed them that, I told them, May 21st of last year, we will be actually pulling the first track of ore from Bethania. And May 21st of last year, we were doing it. So when you stick to your word, people believe in you, and that's how we have built this joint venture. Once we build it, we divided the responsibilities. Because I hear a lot of groups that go there to Saudi Arabia and said, okay, I bring all the knowledge, you put all the money. That's not fair for anybody. Everybody needs to have a skin on the game, because that's the only way where both parties will be fair to each other. And that's one of the things that we did. We both pay. We both invest. It's not, I go there because I'm Christian and that's it, and you pay for everything. No. We went there and we both have something to offer and recognize that in your partner. And that's how we decided to enter the Hadid bidding process. The bidding process has evolved a lot since then. And now, as I was telling my friends here from the delegation, 1 week ago we finished our first drilling campaign, successful drilling campaign, finishing 5,123 meters drilling in the Hadid project, results to come. And we have been working with the communities nearby very well, with the partners. We are creating friendship with them as well, and also learning from them. Saudi Arabia has been drilling for years for oil, okay, but there are a lot of things that are transferable, and we are learning about that.
You mentioned drilling, and obviously Peru is known for the quality of its mining service companies, drillers. In Saudi Arabia, Ma'aden has recently announced already that it will be drilling 10 million meters over the next 10 years. That's 1 million meter a year, which is as much as the entire continent of Africa, more or less. What do you think are the main opportunities for Peruvian companies in the mining service sector or for Peruvian mining companies?
I think one of the main opportunities is that in order for Saudi Arabia to develop their mining industry, the ecosystem needs to be developed. And the ecosystem, although mines and miners are important, they can't do anything without the service provider, without the drillers, without the mining contractors, engineering companies. Peru has massive amount of them here. We can do almost everything here. And one of the very important things is that in Saudi Arabia, things are not only big. What I mean by that? That you can go there and drill millions of meters, okay, as Remy was saying, but you can also go there and drill 5,000 meters, as we just did, and 10,000 meters. So there will be a space for everybody. You will have from very big and experienced drillers, massive drilling international companies that go there for this 1 million or so, and you also will have the requirement for smaller drilling campaigns, for other sort of explorers, for other sorts of companies, and for other sort of clients whatsoever. And I'm just using drilling as an example. For all that is coming, a lot of things will be needed. It will be required environmental consultants. You will need to start doing social assessment. We will need to start doing mine modeling. Because, to be fair, you cannot develop it easy or streamlined if you need to wake up at 2 a.m. in the morning to talk with your mine planner that is in Chile, let's say in Peru. You need to go there. So information need to be transferred. That's why moving and the transfers of knowledge, information, and services need to happen on a physical base. I hear a lot of companies saying, okay, I will move there when I get my first contract. What I usually say is, you will not get your first contract if you are not there. Because, as I said, that you can have business first and people second, they need to see you, because there is not like that. People are first and business is second. So you need to be there, be knowing what's happening, okay? And then service will flow. Therefore, business will happen. And the opportunities, I think, are massive over there.
In a few minutes, we'll have our friends from the ministry that will present, geological potential, the support, that a series of different programs to enable the mining sector. You have been operating in several countries. We've seen in many countries, sometimes the government are maybe not as supportive that it could be, that there has not as many incentive programs as there is in Saudi Arabia, where they are adamant about making the mining sector the third sector in the country, energy being the first one, tourism, which is used with Mecca and others, the second one, and mining the third one. Can you explain how you worked with the government, how you saw the support from the different actors in Saudi Arabia, and share that with the people here in this room?
Okay, I would say the main things I will recognize and even congratulate Saudi Arabia is they listen. I will give you a practical example. The first bidding process was complex. Okay, it was not easy. We need to prepare a file, almost an FS study. It was difficult, and everybody was learning. However, we had different discussions with them, and now most of the recommendations have been implemented. Last week, I just participated in a bidding process where we acquired 5 blocks, more or less. Everything was done online. The bidding process is very easy to understand. The rules are clear, and it's not as complex, really. They have made it very, very simple. So that's an example of government listening. And in the same way that I was telling what Saudi Arabia can learn from Peru, that is something that Peru can learn from Saudi Arabia, for the government to just listen and understand what are the requirements. The relationship with Saudi Arabia is like talking with a private company, and that really helps mining industry move a lot. In other places, and this is not just particular to Peru, but this happened in Canada, this happened in the US, this happened in Chile, Peru, several other places, okay, with very few exceptions. But I think that is something that everybody else should learn from Saudi Arabia.
We have a delegation from Saudi Arabia here at PERUMIN. It's the first year, definitely not the last year. In the Future Minerals Forum next January that, although we present, if I'm not wrong, there will be a good presence of Peru and specific case study on Peru. How do you think those bridges could actually continue flourish and developing? What are the next steps for the Peruvian-Saudi Arabia collaboration?
Okay, one important concept worldwide basically is that resource nationalism. What I mean with that? Every country is trying to secure critical metals for the development of itself. Basically, critical metals are becoming a national security issue, national interest. We saw last week Qatar Investment Authority massively investing in Ivanhoe.
500 million, yeah.
Yes, we saw Saudi Arabia also investing in MP for rare earth, okay? And we can see that happening elsewhere. So I think that Peru has vast amount of critical metals to offer. Saudi Arabia requires vast amount of critical metals, okay, plus knowledge, and vice versa. I think there is a bridge where both countries can align their objectives. Because it's not only about mining. After you mine, downstream comes, okay? So there is no reason why you cannot have refineries, why you cannot have downstream processing, either in Saudi Arabia with Peruvian metals, let's say, or Saudi technology in Peru, and then ship final product or intermediate products between them. Because when doing that, you gain independence. The countries get the best of themselves. Just using the example of rare earth, okay? Right now, rare earth is a big priority because 87% of all rare earth come from China, okay? So all countries are trying to rush, how can we get rare earth? Saudi Arabia already signed something with MP Materials, but not all rare earth are there. Copper will be the same thing. We always will need copper. Everybody's talking about electricity and energy matrix change, but regardless, electricity will need to go from point A to point B. You need copper. So you need to secure that for national security. And I think the bridge can be a two-way avenue where both countries can align their objectives.
That's great. In 2 minutes, we'll welcome Nasser Al-Jadali to actually present the geological strength and potential of Saudi Arabia. But before I let you go, can I ask you what kind of advice you would give to any Peruvian mining company or service company into engaging in the first step towards their journey to come to Saudi Arabia?
Okay, my first advice, as I said before, go there. Don't think that it will happen online or via emails. You need to go there, experience, see how it's been there, and it's not that difficult, really. It's almost the same thing as working here. So I would totally recommend everybody to go there and explore because the opportunities are massive, and when you realize that, okay, I will go there, everybody will already be there. Now, all these mining service providers, companies have the opportunity to be one of the first. And that will benefit Saudi Arabia because it will develop the ecosystem faster. And also it will benefit the entrepreneurs, the companies here, because they will have different businesses with different risk profile and base of clients, let's say.
Mira, Cristian, hermano, muchas gracias por eso. Te agradezco mucho por tu experiencia. Yo sé que hemos tenido esta conversación en inglés, pero si tienen cualquier pregunta que no han entendido en español, Cristian se va a estar ahí. Fiorella también puede ayudarle con cualquier cosa en Arabia Saudita. Pero ahora me voy a dar la bienvenida a nuestros amigos del Ministerio para que le presente los aspectos geológicos y de incentivos de Arabia Saudita. Please, Mr. Nasser Al-Jadali, if you can join us, that'd be wonderful. Thank you.
So at the beginning, would like to welcome you in our Saudi showcase. Second things, I have three messages. First, I want to thank the Minister of Mining for the invitation to participate in this great event. The second, special thanks for the people, the Peruvian people, especially in Arequipa, for the hospitality and also for welcome us. Yesterday I was in the historical area, and they are always welcome us and smiling. So special thanks for them. And the third message, this is for me and my colleagues, the Saudi colleagues. I want to congratulate them for the National Day. Today, our National Day. So happy National Day. And we feel as home in Arequipa. So thank you so much. I want to give a brief about the geology of the kingdom and the mineral endowment. So by the way, I'm a geologist, so can move from here? No, just okay.
This is Saudi Arabia, the future of sustainable mining, where you see culture meeting nature and a lot of rahat. Today, we brought together the top miners of the world, the top exploration brains, to see the coexistence between all cultures and all sectors to make sure that we drive mining forward in a sustainable manner.
I have been here in the kingdom for almost 2 months now, and what I have seen, very much promising areas for different commodity types. The prospectivity opportunities are there, so it's very fascinating.
Well, the geology is beautiful, and it's all around you. As you can see, there's beautiful outcrop everywhere. There's all the right rocks in all the right places. There's really good structure and good access.
It is complex, probably the most interesting piece of rock for gold and some copper, but for gold in the world at the moment.
Saudi geologists are very professional and friendly and open-minded and like to share ideas with other people. I suppose it will be very nice to work and to communicate with them.
There's a lot of mineral exploration potential in Saudi. After the site visit, I'm most impressed.
The sustainability of mining and the future of mining is here in Saudi.
Good. Thank you. So you saw the video that our environment is similar to the environment here in Peru, especially the desert. But our desert is not the highest like the Atacama. But we have a similar environment. And also we have a camels, no llama there. So this is the difference. So I will start talking about the geology of the kingdom and the mineral resources. Next slide. I will start with the Hola or Ola. Yes, ma'am. This is the content of the presentation. I will skip it. Then I will start with I will give a brief about the geology of the Saudi Arabia. Maybe the majority knows that Saudi Arabia is oil and gas country. But actually, our geology can be divided in 4 geological domains. The Arabian Shield represents the western part of the kingdom, which is the oldest rocks, the new Proterozoic rocks. Then the Phanerozoic sedimentary rocks, which is hosted the oil and gas, and also the giant deposits of the phosphate and bauxite, and silica sand, and pure limestone as well. Then the quaternary basaltic float, and most of the volcanoes in Saudi Arabia, it is an strombolian types. It's mostly basaltic floats with a beautiful cinder cones, and the coastal plain along the Red Sea. We'll go a little bit deeply on the Arabian Shield, because most of the metallic minerals located in the Arabian Shield. The Arabian Shield is part of the Arabian-Nubian Shield here, and separated from the African side by the rifting of the Red Sea. We call it a baby ocean. Its age around 45 million years, which is recent. So if you look to the Arabian Shield, which consists of 9 tectonostratigraphic terrains, and most of the western terrains are of the island arcs, and the eastern terrain, it's a composite terrain between island arcs and continent. We'll go back. So the Arabian Shield is extend about 2,000 kilometers from north to south along the Red Sea, and about 700 kilometers from east to west, and hosted the major gold and base metal mines in Saudi Arabia. Here the mineral distribution in the kingdom, and we can see here most of the metallic minerals are distributed in the Arabian Shield. The majority is gold, and the gold located just at the boundaries of the terrains along the boundaries close to the ultramafics and the ophiolithic source. Okay, and most of the non-metallic deposits located in the Phanerozoic rocks, which is the phosphate, which is the largest and giant deposit, and this is a part of the metallogenic terrains extended from north of Saudi Arabia to Morocco. Then the bauxite here, just close to the major city Hail, and the huge silica sand, pure silica sand deposit. Okay. We identified a 9 type or style of demineralization in the kingdom. First, the orogenic gold type, which represents the majority of the gold in the kingdom. It's of orogenic gold and located along structure and close to the boundaries of the terrains. The second, the epithermal gold type, and associated with the acidic volcanic rocks, mainly rhyolite domes. The base metal deposits, which is a FMS, and I will give example of this type in the next slide. The sedimentary hosted lead and zinc mineralization, especially along the coastal plain here, within the carbonate. Then the tantalum, tin and tungsten, and lithium mineralization related to high evolved granites. The porphyry, copper, moly, and copper gold mineralization, which is recently discovered in the Arabian Shield. It's a new Proterozoic age. It's a little bit old in age. It's not similar to the one here. It's a little bit, it's older, and as you know that the new Proterozoic or Precambrian porphyry is a little bit rare in the world. Then the chromium, titanium, iron, nickel, copper, Bg, related to ultramafic rocks along the ophiolite, and the rare earth, thorium, and uranium mineralization related to alkali and alkalic granite. And these deposits formed at the last stage of the Arabian Shield, and the titanium and gold residual placers. Okay. We identified more than 30 belts of precious and base metals in the kingdom. So this represents the distribution of precious and base metals in the kingdom that distributed along district, forming this mineralized belt. I give here one example of the famous in the kingdom, which is Jebel Said. This is a share project between Barak and Ma'adin. It's the largest copper mine in Saudi Arabia. It's located in Medina region. The total or the approximately reserve is 99 millions with average grade of 2.6% of copper. And also there's a gold, especially at the upper portion of the famous deposit in the oxidized zone. And this is some activities of the mine. The second mine, which is the oldest mine in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, is Mahd al-Dahab mine. Mahd al-Dahab does mean the cradle of gold. So we dated this mine for more than 3,000 years. The mine activities started since 3,000 years. And still this mine producing gold. It's a typical epithermal. And now they're reaching a level of a famous. So we interpreted that mine is a two kind of models. The famous then overprinted by epithermal system. It's a low sulfidation epithermal system. And if you can see here some of the textures of the coliform texture and potassic or adularia texture. Here the distribution of the porphyry copper that we recorded in the Arabian Shield, and I will give example of that, of the Jebel Suwaj, which is a new discovery. It's a copper moly. It's a low grade, and it's located about 200 kilometers at the west of the capital city, Riyadh. Okay. This is the Suwaj suite. During the BRGM times, it was in 1997, we start the exploration there in Mibari, and it was the first discovery of the porphyry system. Then we extend the exploration to Suwaj, and we discover also the porphyry, the copper porphyry system. Large part of this copper potentials is covered by quaternary, especially the sand dunes. So it's interesting really to highlight about this Suwaj, and it's a promising really belt, need more investigation. And this is the example of the porphyry system in Suwaj. Mostly the copper located along the fracture system, and the alterations mostly is bostacic alterations. And this is some of the samples, and we found the copper located along dikes of a granodiorite. And this is the geological resources that we estimated on the drilling project. And we estimated the geological resources is about 35 million tons of ore with 0.27 percentage of copper and moly and gold. It's a low grade, but now we are looking to extend the exploration to find a large tonnage with a low grade. Just I want to mention here that this is the NGD. The NGD hosting all the geological data, the legacy, and the recent studies, like the result of the initiatives of the last airborne, magnetic, and radiometric, and also the geochemical survey along the Arabian Shield. We conduct a high-resolution aeromagnetic along the Arabian Shield with a spacing 300 meters and altitude about between 80 to 120 meters. And also we covered the shield with a detailed geochemical survey. We collect more than 88,000 samples with a spacing around 6.25 kilometers. So all of this data, it's available on the NGD and free of charge. So everyone can log to the platform, and he can download the result of the airborne survey, and also the geological maps, also the information about the license. And thank you.
Shukran jazilan, Nasir. Y entonces ahora que hemos presentado un poco la riqueza geológica del país, del Reino de Arabia Saudita, también usted tiene que saber que hay muchísimos más incentivos y capacidades en el país, calidad de infraestructura, calidad de toda la policía. Y entonces me voy a darle la bienvenida a Nawaf Al-Rayawi para presentar un poco todos esos aspectos. Nawaf, if you can join me here, that'd be amazing if you can actually share your knowledge on the country of Saudi Arabia. Thank you.
So I would like to welcome you again to the Saudi Showcase. And as we say in Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum, when we greet each other. So before I kick off our sessions, I would like to go through the types of things that we're gonna cover at our sessions. So we will start with the competitive advantage of Saudi Arabia, and we will go through our mining and physical regime. From there, we will talk about the unprecedented mineral opportunities that we are offering this year and beyond. And finally, we will close with the mineral incentives programs and enablement programs we have developed so far to sustain the development of the explorations within the Arabian Shield. So let me start with one question. So why Saudi Arabia for mineral investment? So while other jurisdictions started to shy away from the mining sectors with many restrictions, Saudi Arabia have embraced minings to be the third pillar of our economy, supported with one of the largest untapped mineral resources with an estimated value of $2.5 trillion. Along with that, we have so far 120 billion mineral opportunities for investments. So Saudi Arabia is developing, and we have many projects going so far. So Saudi Arabia is home to one of the unique and largest giga projects. We have Qiddiya, Neums, and all of these projects will require additional resources and mineral to support the development. So let's take, for example, aluminums and copper. So the forecasted demand for those minerals are forecasted to reach up to 3 times demands. So when it comes to the positions of Saudi Arabia is globally well positioned at the cross doors of the global, whether it's Europe, Africa, or east of Asia. It's all within the reach of the kingdoms. We have a robust infrastructures that cover 25 airports and 10 seaports. Along with that, Saudi Arabia have a world-class infrastructures in place. We have a wide spread of highly networks connecting all major cities with the industrial cities. Along with that, as we mentioned in the earlier slides, we have 10 active ports with high capacities where it can meet all the demands of exporting all the minerals. Along with that, we have 14 active industrial cities which support the development of the mining sectors. So we have modernized our mining and physical regimes. So when we develop our new mining strategy or mining regimes, we take in place 3 major components: the transparency and the investment attractiveness and the world-class sustainability. Our mining investments law over 100% of foreign ownership and secure tenures for investors. We offer a competitive and a world-class mining physical regime. You have, as an investor, you have a fully exclusive right to transfer your explorations license to a mining license. We have a fully transparent technical guidelines and licensing process. And finally, a mandatory plan to support the community engagement and local content. So let's go back to 2013. Back in 2013, Saudi Arabia were, based on Fraser report, were ranked at 104th when it comes to the investment attractiveness. But our journey began in 2016 when the Crown Prince, His Royal Highness Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, announced to the globe our new visions 2030. So the visions 2030 will transform the kingdoms and diversify the economies from the highly reliance on oil and gas. In 2017, we launched the comprehensive mining strategy, followed by the launching of the Ta'deen platforms and online platforms where all the licensing process take place. And on 2020, we launched our newly competitive mining law, which based on the best practice in the global mining jurisdictions. And in 2022, we host the first future mineral forums. It's unlike other mining forums. It's focused on taking decisions where both the major player in the minings and other governmental representatives gather in one place to take decisions and to put the plan for sustainability of the entire mining sectors. In 2022, we launched the first and one of the largest regional explorations programs by the government to de-risk the explorations. And in 2021, we launched the National Geological Database, which gathered all the information generated by the explorations company and by the regional explorations program conducted by Saudi Geological Survey. All of these achievements are well recognized, and on the final review of the Fraser report, Saudi Arabia rank has increased from 108 to 23rd. This is show the confidence levels and the trust the investors put in Saudi Arabia. All of these achievements and milestones actually representing a fractions of the commitments Saudi Arabia committed to deliver for the entire mining sectors. So since the inception of our mining strategy, we have achieved exceptional results. We have attracted many explorations companies, and all of these are well reflected. We have achieved so far of increasing the number of explorations licensings 5 times since 2018, and we have increased the exploration spend 4 times since the 2018. Along with that, we have attracted so far 45 billions worth of investments. All of these, to that end, we have well recognized as one of the best improved jurisdictions when it comes to the mineral investments. So we have witnessed a record growth when it comes to mineral explorations and spend. So compared to 2023, our exploration spend have grown rapidly, reaching a 45% of an annual growth, and the number of exploration spent so far increased 130%. Along with that, of 300 million commitments of exploration spent through the exploration tender rounds. Not only the private sectors are contributing at the exploration spent, even the governmental sector. So far, since the establishment of the regional explorations program, we have invested so far in the regional explorations programs a worth of 347 million US dollar in the regional explorations program, showing how committed to de-risk explorations by generating a high quality of data available free of charge for private sectors. So Saudi Arabia have one of the largest untapped mineral resources across 25 commodities covering precious base metals along with industrial minerals with an estimated value of 2.5 trillion US dollars. So we understand exploration is a risky business. So we have developed a fully suited incentive programs which cover the entire value chain of mineral explorations from the early stage up to the producing mine or the midstream. So we are offering a 22 million grant to explorations enablement programs. Also in the midstream, we are offering an access to significant co-fundings to fund CAPEX through the mine developments. So explorations is a very cash reliant. So once you develop or you transfer your explorations license from exploration license to a mining, so we offer you a 5 years of royalty fees exemptions as a tax holidays. And we are offering a 30% discount for each local downstream processings, which will reach up to 90%. We have additional incentives that cover up to 50% of the local salary for Saudi professionals. We have a custom duty exemptions also, a 100% of foreign ownerships for license and mining lease, and up to 20% of tax, corporate tax. So in this part, we will cover the mineral opportunities that we are offering this year and beyond. So before we jump into the mineral opportunities we have in Saudi Arabia, when it comes to the licensing process, we have two paths to obtaining explorations license, either through the direct path or through the tenders application. So what's the difference between the direct applications and the tenders applications? So the direct applications are on base of a served come, first served basis. And to obtain an explorations license, you need to be fully registered. Once you are fully registered, you will be able to apply for mineral exploration. So you can identify the area through the available data or through the National Geological Database. So once you flag your area, you can just submit an explorations license over this area. And the other path that we have is the tenders application or the auctions path. It's a merit-based, competitions-based. So we are offering a high prospective grant, have a higher amount of data, a tremendous amount of data generated by the USGS and the private sectors. All of these data will be utilized for those licensing path. Regardless of the path you choose, either the direct applications or the tenders applications, we have centralized the entire process. So you will deal with the one government, you will deal with the Ministry of Industry and Mineral Resources, or the communications and permits will be through the Ministry of Industry and Mineral Resources. And once you obtain the license, you will not need to get additional permit to conduct any explorations activity, where in other mining jurisdictions, additional permitting will be required to conduct any types of explorations activities. So far, we have successfully attracted 18 companies from both the major players in the global market and junior sectors. We have upscaled the opportunities we are offering. So in terms of the area available and in terms of the participants participated at those tender rounds, we have achieved a remarkable result, which will reflect it in numbers. So in this year's, it's exceptional. We are offering a 15,000 square kilometers for mineral opportunities. To put this in perspective, since that we are in Peru, so this area we are offering is approximately as a size of 80% of Arequipa. All of these ground we are offering through these tender rounds are highly prospective, covering a prospective mineral belts, have a tremendous amount of data generated by the regional geological survey programs we conducted over those belts, along with the data generated by private sector as of this site where part, a relinquished site, used to be held by other mining companies. So what makes this licensing ground unique? We have introduced a new system, a fully automated system, where we used to have a fully manual system. This year we developed a system, an online system, a GIS-based system, where anyone can participate, can create a user, and simply select the desired grid from the GIS-based interactive system that we have developed. So far, to participate at those auctions, you need to go through the PQQ process. It's a simple process where we assess the technical capabilities and financial capacity of the company. Once we made the evaluations, you will be qualified to participate for the entire year. So this is just to showcase the amount of data that we have for those mineral opportunity. As you can see, we have a high resolution magnetic data with a 300 line spacings, along with the geochemical survey data we conducted all over the area. So all of these opportunities are tailored for different investment opportunities, whether you are a large company, mid-scale company, or a juniors company, we have the right opportunity for you. This is some of the sites we are offering. Also, we have a variety of sites which cover a different varieties of commodities through the gold and base metals, and quartz also will be auctions at this tender rounds we are offering this year. So let's go through the timeline. So all of these opportunities are available, and the PQQ are available. So if you are interested, you can participate, log in into our system, submit your PQQ, and the auctions will take place on 23rd of November, and finally we will announce the results in 9th of December. Again, all of these PQQ criteria to participate are simply based on the technical competency, financial capacity of the company, and the compliance if you have a company already operating in Saudi Arabia, and finally the obligations and fulfillment with the mining and physical regime. So we understand that explorations is a risky business, so this is why we developed an explorations enablement programs to de-risk the explorations. The objectives of our programs is to accelerate the explorations and to enhance our geological knowledge of the Arabian Shields and to identify new targets and frontiers from the early stage of explorations. So we are offering a 4 million of explorations grant through reimbursement. All of these 4 million will cover all the explorations activity related such as the drillings, geoscience analysis, and those explorations enablement programs also cover the salary for Saudi talents for 5 years. It reach up to 100%. And we are also offering a 25% of reimbursements, and each explorations company will have an ability to apply up to 15 explorations license. So the explorations enablement programs eligibility criteria is simple. You need to have an active explorations license. You need to show you have a local commitments to hire and work with the local service providers. You need to have an early stage explorations programs to be able to receive all of these incentives programs. Our priorities will go for the Class A minerals such as gold, copper, lithiums, and etc. And you need also to showcase that you have the proof expertise when it comes to conducting those explorations activities. So when it comes to the opportunities that we have over here in Saudi Arabia, it's not only rely on the mineral sectors. So we have a robust mining service providers operating and working here in Saudi Arabia. However, with the increasement and the high demand we have in Saudi Arabia, many explorations companies are joining and entering the market. So we have did our homework and we did a gap analysis. And as you can see, those are the mining surface opportunities that we have. And it's open for local company and internationals and globals company to enter the market and invest in all of these opportunities that we have identified through the full mineral supply chain. And finally, as we are moving, we would like to ask you to join us as we venture into the kingdom, $2.5 trillion of explorations, frontiers, and opportunities. Thank you all.
Shukran, Nawaf. Entonces, así como pueden ver, el gobierno de Arabia Saudita está haciendo todos los esfuerzos que puede para apoyarle su entrada en el territorio. Hay oportunidades que no pienso que tienen ningún equivalente en el mundo, tanto para empresas de servicios de minería como empresas mineras. Y ahí estamos ahí para ayudarle en su entrada en el país. Como lo mencionó Cristian, la primera etapa para entrar al país es el Future Minerals Forum, que se está conociendo todos los años en enero. Y para hablar de eso, tengo la suerte de tener a Aldo Panini, que maneja todo el programa. Así que Aldo, please, if you can join me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Remy. Buenas tardes a todos. Muchas gracias. I would like to take you quickly through what the Future Minerals Forum is, which is a relatively new gathering in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, that aims to bring together leaders from around the world, whether it be from government, industry, investors, and other stakeholders. We're going into our 5th year, so we're very new, but we've grown significantly, and I'll take you through what that journey has been like. Thank you, I have to say, to Christian for summarizing some of the opportunities in the kingdom and the fact that you have to go and see for yourself what is going on there. We can only take you so far with slides, but you've got to be there yourselves to feel the energy of that amazing country. Dawn of a Global Cause is the theme, the central theme for 2026. And why it's important for us to be here, very far away from where we normally live in the Gulf region, to be here in South America, is to gather attention, gather interest in this idea of minerals being vital for human development. And as you heard this morning at the presentations by the ministers and other senior leaders, that we're in a new age of mineral development. And therefore, we all have to work together, South America, Africa, Europe, other regions. I know the times are complex, but it's a time for us it's vital for us to collaborate. We have a big vision, just like the kingdom has, and that is to shape and lead the future of minerals. We want to convene leaders, as I said earlier, from governments, business and other groups to come and help us shape action for mineral supply, to grow mineral supply. And we have a very clear purpose, which is to enable the development of resilient and responsible mineral value chains. Oh, it's not moving, sorry. So, ladies and gentlemen, FMF in these few short years has become a global brand. We are more than a conference. We take place in January, but we are more than a conference. We are more than an exhibition. We are a cause, a movement, un movimiento, that is born out of a new region for mineral development. The region is largely focused on hydrocarbons. They're now moving into minerals. So it's a very exciting time to be there. And as you've seen from our colleagues, the opportunities in the kingdom are significant. So Saudi Arabia is hoping to help drive this cause and bring the world together to deliver action. The results we've achieved so far, as you can see on the screen, are quite significant. In just 4 years, we've attracted some 89 governments to our ministerial roundtable. We expect to attract some 70 international organizations, including multilateral organizations. We are not as big as PERUMIN, but we bring 20,000 people. We expect to bring 20,000 people in 2026. Most of these are leaders, CEOs and corporate leaders from around the world. 400 speakers we're expecting again in 26, and we are a place where deals get done. So plenty of announcements to be expected in January. We are very busy at the Future Minerals Forum because we not only bring people together, but we are taking action to address some of the key issues that are impacting mineral supply. We are looking at creating a critical minerals framework that brings the world together to drive investment in infrastructure, to enable geological surveying on a grander scale, to drive exploration, to drive mining investment, to make that investment more responsible, to attract more young people into the industry, and to help all of that happen through more innovation. As we look forward to next year's event, which will take place from the 13th to the 15th of January, we will have, the event will start with a ministerial roundtable, and I stress the importance of this because the Future Minerals Forum, we tend to say, is government-driven or government-led. And I think we're a unique gathering in that sense. And when I say government, I mean governments in general, in that governments we see as providing leadership while all other stakeholders come in to drive action. Our central theme, as I said, is Dawn of a Global Cause. So on the 13th of January, governments will be talking about driving change through leadership. They'll be talking about funding for infrastructure. They'll be talking about enhancing transparency through traceability. We are creating a network of centers of excellence, and there's an opportunity here in South America and in Peru in particular, having listened to what Christian had to say about the opportunities for Peru to share its know-how and the Peruvian way, to come to Saudi Arabia and share those experiences with you through our Centers of Excellence work. In the green box, you will see a reference to industry coming into the conversation. So we're bringing industry and governments together to drive action. The work we have been doing through the year on all of these initiatives has involved more than 131 experts from 42 countries and 22 international organizations. So the work that's being done here is really where the engine room for action. So again, we invite you to be part of this exciting journey. The framework I referred to earlier, this is where it all comes together, and where your input is vital, is to drive that mineral supply through funding, through technology development, through sustainable supply, more infrastructure, policy, and talent development. So these are all common international challenges. We are bringing all these here into a framework that we hope that you will contribute to its development. We have identified 7 priority mineral clusters to drive that investment, particularly around infrastructure, 5 in Africa, 2 in South America. One of those is the lithium triangle in Western South America, as well as the rare earth elements deposits in Brazil. We will be looking, as time goes by, into other critical corridors, hopefully including Peru. But the focus of our efforts in driving that investment through innovation, responsible supply, is to begin experiencing or piloting projects here and then expanding them over time. We are taking a new approach to sustainability, and we want to ensure that the countries of supply regions have a voice in the setting of standards, sustainability standards that you may have all heard about. So at the Future Minerals Forum, we are working with our stakeholders to help define what those standards should be and influence also customer countries who tend to be the standards or the rule setters. This is a vital conversation in an era of responsible supply. We are seeking to create a network of centers of excellence with 3 hubs, one in Saudi Arabia focusing on innovation, one in South Africa focusing on talent, and another in Morocco focusing on sustainability. These will be pillars for us for a large network covering the whole of Africa, Western and Central Asia. It's a regional network for now, but we are hoping for this will become a truly global network. So again, the expertise and know-how of South America in mining, which is hugely rich, would be welcomed here. So universities, research institutes, private-public organizations focused on improving mining, and not just mining, but the whole mineral value chain. You're welcome to participate in these conversations. And as we look ahead to the 13th and 15th of January. Again, you're all invited to participate. By the way, before you leave, please take the brochures that are at the back on the round table. Some of you already have them. Please take those with you. It has all of this information. But some of the key themes that we'll be covering: funding for mineral value chains. So we're having very practical leadership discussions. We want to address issues around global disruption. So this is the geopolitical challenges that the world is facing. How can we as miners overcome them? We'll be talking about the rise of protectionism and resource nationalism, as Christian mentioned earlier. So again, how can we navigate these complex challenges? And the only way we think of that can be done is through collaboration and trust. Industry reputation is another. We'll be talking about the cost of carbon or decarbonizing, and we'll also be talking about new demand drivers, whether it be the digital age, carbon reduction, or security. We will have a number of new elements at FMF. We will have a state of them to deliver gateway to funding sessions, and this is where companies get to present their strategies to investors in the Gulf region, particularly in Saudi Arabia, Saudi families, the Public Investment Fund, and other significant potential new investors. We will have leadership roundtables, so we bring the CEOs together, ministers, to find solutions to key challenges facing the sector. These result in recommendations that we then turn into action. And there'll be great debates. So we'll be having leaders having frank conversations on stage, and hopefully you'll find those not just entertaining, but informative in terms of what action can actually be delivered. For those of you interested in the next generation, we'll be having workshops for future talent and young leaders. Those of you in the technology space, we have opportunities to exhibit all new technologies, AI, spatial data, monitoring, you name it. We're at the vanguard of showcasing those new technologies. We will have knowledge exchanges, which are more technical in nature, so those of you that have particular products or particular knowledge to share, with peers in terms of technical expertise, we have that opportunity. And then we have what's known as FMF Talks, which is out-of-the-box speakers and presenters helping us look beyond our immediate minerals community. Just to give you an idea of who's coming, these are all already confirmed. We have the global leaders of the mining sector, the mineral sector, attending. We have the chairman of Rio Tinto, we have BHP, Codelco, the Chinese, CMOC, Fortescue from Australia. So just to give you a sense of the caliber of speakers that you'll be encountering there. So it's very much a leadership forum. And the last few slides take you through what the forum will be like. As I said, the report or the brochure has all this information, but it's action-packed. The 13th of January is when we kick everything off with a ministerial roundtable. We will have centers of excellence meetings around talent, sustainability, and other topics. So it's an opportunity to engage with peer audiences. The conference kicks off as well on the 13th. As you can see here, we have a vast range of platforms and engagement opportunities. You can look at these in the brochure. We will then kick off officially the event on the 14th. This is where governments come together and Saudi officials to begin the conference. And I would encourage you all to have a look at the website as well, which has all this information. Just finally, why Peru and Latin America should come to the Future Minerals Forum? For investors, it's a place to meet people and trade, meet new partners. For explorers, it's the same, future partners and access to funding, as our colleagues have outlined, enormous opportunities and incentive programs. For governments, an opportunity to shape the future agenda, develop partnerships. For NGOs and academia, it's about creating minerals, new minerals industries. So we invite Peru to share its knowledge and look for these new opportunities. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Aldo, for this. Sí, entonces no puedo más insistir sobre el hecho de que esta conferencia es una de las más importantes ahora en el mundo y yo le quiero extender una invitación muy especial para que esté presente en el próximo mes de enero. Como lo decía, Saudi Arabia es el país ahora que le puede proponer más interés en el crecimiento de su negocio. Hay muchas oportunidades para empresas mineras, para empresas de servicios mineros y ahí estamos siempre muy interesados para ser capaces de contestar a sus preguntas. Hemos trabajado en media en 50 países en el mundo y yo puedo decirle que Arabia Saudita es seguramente el país en el cual hay más apoyo del gobierno, más potencial para las empresas y si podemos facilitar su entrada, con mucho gusto estaremos. Seguramente usted tendrá muchas preguntas, hemos hecho una parte de esta presentación en inglés. Si usted quería hacer unas preguntas, pues Fiorella, yo o cualquier persona de la delegación está aquí para contestar y entonces le agradezco por haber participado y les digo que nos vemos en muy poco tiempo. Muchísimas gracias. Pues no duden en hacer amigos con los de Arabia Saudita o con nosotros. Ahí estamos para cualquier pregunta, se acerca a nosotros y ahí le contestaremos. Muchas gracias.